until it wasn't. It was going to be one blouse to rule them all, the perfect birthday gift to solve all the issues my mom has with her stitched sari blouses. And it turned out to be all that and more, just not the surprise gift I was hoping it to be. Hence, I figured I'd be kinder to myself and no longer needed the self imposed time crunch. Hi everyone. Welcome to or welcome back to Yarn Ranger. I'm Arpita and I hope you enjoy and have something to take away from my experience of modifying the Ophelia tank or top into a sari blouse. As I crochet on the picot edges, let me get into the hows and whys. For a while now, I've been thinking about the kind of shape, structure, and parts that would have to come together into making a sari blouse. Because no matter how many tailors and seamstresses my mom goes to, she ends up with wrinkled fabric under at least one of her arms, and this bugs her a lot. I have come to understand that this is a body shape issue between the length between your, I think, underarm and top of the shoulder and the chest size. Anyways, long story short, there is excess fabric in her underarm region, which leads to the bunching. And that's what's the problem here. I am thinking of self drafting something, but I also want to modify and experiment with elements I know are perfect for this vision from existing patterns that I have on my mind and found on Ravelry. The first of such patterns is the Ophelia tank, top, or blouse patterns by Tamara Jordan, also known as Starcrossed knits online. It's a vintage inspired top or blouse, which is constructed top down and has short row shoulder shaping, short rows for the bust, and then waist shaping. It has three sleeve options. That is the tank top, which is sleeveless with some laced edging, short cap sleeves, and long flared sleeves. There is a lace knitting element in the hems and the neckline with picot crochet edging for the finishing. The Ophelia top or tank is a little more modest compared to the blouse, which has a lace button band. I was initially going to knit that, but figured it'll be a little too risky for my mom's liking. I did consider doing a double knit button band, which is more similar to a traditional sari blouse, but in the end, I just decided to stick to a in the round construction to make things more simple and straightforward for my first sari blouse. In terms of the sizing, it's graded for nine sizes with the bust measurements ranging from 28 to 62 inches, which is about 71 to 158 centimeters. And in terms of yarn, she recommends a fingering weight yarn with 2.75 millimeter needles. I chose to go with a 5 by 2 mercerized cotton yarn from Shuttles and Needles in the color garnet. I initially went with the green, but anyways, more on that later. This is a light fingering weight yarn, and for the needles, I went with 3 millimeters since I've used this combination in the past for my cloud tee, and I really like it. I like the flow of the fabric, how it fits, and how it feels when you wear it all day long. However, I was not meeting gauge with it, so I worked out some math. There was a lot of back and forth, but I would do anything because this yarn is so damn comfortable to wear and you can wear it all day throughout the year and it also just fits the vision exactly how I want it to. I started off gauge swatching and blocking a square. I was off gauge and I started knitting the size 5 in the pattern to fit a size 3 based on my math. But once I joined in the round, something was fishy. I was not too confident that even though it fit me with a 1 inch positive ease, there was something nagging me in the back of my mind. Based on my three previous experiences with this yarn, three different garments, I know that this yarn does get a little bit snuggy, but I was not too convinced. I ended up steam blocking it and it grew a lot. It was way too big on me. I tried to frog a little and work out the math in hopes that I don't have to restart it from scratch again. But there was bad news waiting for me. Because even if I found a loophole here, I did not have enough yarn on hand. I checked online and texted the store to see if they had any more in this colorway, but they did not. They were also not sure when it would be back in stock. It was the 7th of June at this point, one day away from my mom's birthday, and I decided to break the secret and told her that all about this as I frogged the entire thing. Luckily, I had about 200 grams of the same yarn in the color garnet. It's a beautiful maroon color. My mom and I are the same size for tops, and since it's no longer a surprise gift, I decided to use her as my real life mannequin and made her try this on multiple times as I went ahead. She was so patient. And this time around, based on the blocked gauge for my green piece, I chose size 3 and decided to modify and make it a little more snug as needed as I went along the pattern. While casting on the back, I started with 2 rows of stockinette before I started working on the short rows. So, this is just because it's a little more cleaner in my opinion, and that's how I like my short rows to start. And to make sure that the row lengths matched, I reduced 2 rows from the stockinette block, which is after the short rows but before the shaping. Other than this, I knit everything to pattern. Well, about everything until the bust shaping starts. I added 1 inch of bust shaping using the recommended method as on the Starcrossed Knits website and pattern. While I did not follow the waist decreases as suggested, I did something a little different. I knit one round after the bust shaping, and then I did multiple try-ons to make sure it was following the curve of our bodies. So the plan was to decrease on all the 4 darts that you have. Then in some places, only decrease in the back dart area, and in some places, only to decrease in the front bust area. So I have a little more detailed information about this kind of shaping, or at least what I did on my Ravelry page, which is linked below. The pattern page is linked below. And in short, what it does is I wanted to make sure that when, well, the bust shaping goes until you reach the fullest part of your bust. After that, I wanted to make sure there was rapid decreases only in the bust area so that all the under boob area or the lower part of your breast or chest is covered with the fabric so that it's more shape fitting like a crop top or a camisole would. And in the end, I decided to add only decreases in the back area so that it's more cinched in and it has that tailored look that a lot of sari blouses do, especially if you're getting a princess cut sari blouse, which is what I really like the structure. It's more corsety. And then I think I knit it for about 2.5 to 3 inches so that it's close to the lowest rib area. So once it was in this lower rib area, I decided to do a folded hem. I did consider doing the lace hem or lace edging, but the problem was it would roll a lot in this area and it would not always look good. So I didn't want that rolling up to happen. And I did a folded hem. So I think I did 5 rows of stockinette, did 1 row of pearl, and then 5 rows of stockinette before I bound off and um, just hemmed it. And for the binding off, I did the knit two together, knit one bind off. It's a little more elasticy comparatively to the regular bind off. So I read it somewhere, so I just went with that. And I think it's good enough. Anyways, once all of this was done, it was time to do the sleeves. I did a few fit checks in this point to make sure everything was fitting me fine, and then started on my sleeve pickup. I followed the pickup instruction for the in the pattern, but I realized it was closer to size 4 than size 3 for me. So I just decided to go with size 4. This is also probably because of some of the shaping increases that I did and the row gauge, which was slightly off for me. So I decided to go with the sleeve structure for size 4 instead of size 3. But once the short rows and all were done for the cap sleeve, I just followed the decreased plan for size 3. I think it's its personal preference because since it's a sari blouse, I do want it to be very snug and tight fitting to the body. Yeah, so I just followed everything else as per the pattern for the sleeves. And then I did the neck hemming and the neck laces and the crochet add on. This is how the sleeve length and width circumference and the look is after blocking and doing the crochet picot edges. I think before the edges were added on, even though it was blocked, it looked a little too loose in this area. So I was very scared that it'll keep rolling up or just not looking neat. But now it does, and I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm happy about this. Is a little deep necked. I think it has a neck depth of 9 inches. So I'm going to insert an image. Well, the image without me, but me wearing the blouse that is. Also, if you can see, there is no bunching in this region. So I'm very happy with it. It looks even better on my mom, whose measurements they're made for. But I think I can get away with wearing this, well, borrowing it from her. So I'm really happy. Thanks for joining, and until next time, happy knitting!